Now, may I recommend an evening at the Titty Twister? It's a roadside bar just across the border into Mexico, and though the clientele seems to consist mainly of bikers, there's the bewitching Santanico Pandemonium, Salma Hayek to you and me, who does this alluring dance and then... But I'm getting ahead of myself. The Titty Twister features in a picture about the Gecko brothers, Seth, George Clooney, and Richard, Quentin Tarantino. They're on the lam because Richard managed to break his big brother out of the slammer, but the body count's mounting and the fugitives have to cross the Texas border.
What did I tell you? What did I say to you? I said, buy the road map and leave. What the f am I supposed to do, Seth?
Recognize us.
He didn't recognize you.
Seth, I'm telling you, the way he looked at us, you especially, I knew he knew.
Low profile. You understand the meaning of the word low profile?
Hey, Richie, how's your hand? It hurts like a fucking son
Let
of a
me tell
bitch,
you what
Seth.
low
Thanks for
profile is
asking.
not. It is not taking girls hostage. It is not shooting police. It is not setting fire to a building.
Well, the brothers grab some hostages, the Fullers, Jacob, Harvey Keitel, a pastor who's lost the faith, teen daughter Kay, Juliette Lewis again, son Scott, Ernest Liu, and they end up in the Titty Twister, where all hell breaks loose. George Clooney gives a commanding performance, Tarantino himself is wholly confident as the psycho Richard, and there's a gem of a supporting cast, including former blaxploitation star Fred Williamson and our old friend Cheech Marin, who crops up in 3 parts. From Dusk Till Dawn was written by Tarantino before he hit the big time with Reservoir Dogs. It's a delirious mixture of road movie thriller and schlock vampire horror pick. Natural-born killers meet the evil dead. Director Robert Rodriguez demonstrates he knows his way around the genre, and everyone seems to be having a great time. Audiences who relish this sort of stuff will too. Feel like a trip to the Titty Twister, Margaret?
I've been there, David. I had a great time.
You enjoyed it, huh?
Oh, absolutely. But the film, you know, it's sort of like mean giving that away because the first half of the film is really just like a crim road movie. And then whammo, you cross the border into this other world. And it comes as such a surprise. It's really, really a nice surprise in the film. But, you know, Juliette Lewis is not the only thing in common with Strange Days because Graham Revell did the music for both too, the Australian composer.
And a great job too.
Yeah, I think the soundtrack for this. But what I love is the beginning because it's pure Tarantino. And maybe it's Tarantino before he got to the point where he made 4 Rooms, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, actually, I prefer the first half of the film because I think it's very cool and very chilling.
And Harvey
beautifully
Keitel's
written.
great as the Baptist pastor.
Beautifully written. When it gets all schlocky in the second half, it's fun, but it was a bit of a downer for me, that part.
Yeah, no, I think people who are into this sort of thing are going to have a great time with it. It's very well done. I think Rodriguez is very talented. I'm giving this 4 stars.
I think I'll give it 3.5.
I'm going to ask you to again. Then I want you to swear to God that you'll kill me. If you don't, I'm going to just kill myself right now. Now, since you need me, I think you better swear. Kate, do you swear to God that when I become one of the undead, you'll kill me? Kate! We don't have much time, so I'm only giving you the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, all right, I promise I'll do it.
Good girl.
George Clooney is sure a star on the make. Well, From Dusk Till Dawn opens nationally tomorrow. David caught up with Robert Rodriguez to talk about his alliance with Quentin Tarantino, which led to the unfolding of this unholy tale.
My first film wasn't supposed to be my first film. It was a genre, like a road warrior kind of picture, El Mariachi. And it broke out and went to festivals, and I felt a little out of place at the festivals. Although my movie was subtitled, that helped, because then people thought it was an art film, but it wasn't. It was an action film. And I got to the festivals, and I met Quentin, and he had a genre picture, too, as his first film, which was Reservoir Dogs. And both our movies, we'd shot them the same summer. Had guys dressed in black, running around with guns. So we saw a real, kinship in the kind of movies that we like to watch and like to make. So we talked even back then, this was Toronto in '92, of making something together. When I was talking to him about Desperado and my Mexico movie. He showed me the script to a horror movie he wrote for Mexico, From Dusk Till Dawn, one of his first scripts he sold. And I read it. I loved it. I thought I should have written it. It was in Texas, had Mexico, Mexican vampires, everything I loved was in that script. So I wanted to do it. And we never thought we'd have time for it. You know, we have our own serious careers building slowly. And we had a free summer this past summer. We said, let's go do this movie. It'd be fun. It was very bizarre. I would be reading the script, and you were just getting into it, and I was thinking, I thought he told me this was a vampire movie. Oh, well. So I can keep reading, and then halfway through, you turn the page, and suddenly, it's like, well, no wonder no one's ever made this movie. It's so untraditional. It's nice to be able to do 2 movies in one. You get 2. I wasn't stuck doing a horror film the whole time. I started with the second half. There was so much work. I was in that pit for 5 weeks shooting all that stuff. It takes so long to do monsters and the blood, and yeah, we couldn't even rehearse that part. We did a rehearsal of the script, and we rehearsed the first half. By the second half, there's nothing to rehearse. I mean, it's reacting to things that aren't even there. There's all kinds of effects in the movie. There's computer effects, there's makeup effects, there's matte paintings. There's a real mix between the old and new technologies in the movie. And the makeup effects were done by a group called K&B, very talented, young, up-and-coming group, hard-working guys that would give me great special effects, but at a moment's notice would pull out the ketchup and give me some ketchup effects. We had to do anything right away, quickly.
On the count of 3, you shoot the bottles out from behind him. Oh, yeah! 1, 2, 3.
About the music score, why did you choose Graham Revell to do the music?
I loved the score from Dead Calm and one of my favorite horror films. And I thought, I couldn't believe I'd have a chance to work with someone music I admired for so many years, and I would always steal and put in my little home movies. And I thought, wow, this is a chance to work with a guy. I mean, we had the money to go hire, someone who's done a bazillion scores, but you don't know if they're going to work that hard on your movies. Some they work hard on, some they just kind of crank out. Graham seemed like a really hard-working and creative guy, and he had ideas, and he was great to work with.
That was nutty, not to mention stupid.
The casting is really interesting. George Clooney makes a tremendous impact in the film.
Yeah, I was watching the TV one time, and I saw him a couple places. I thought, wow, this guy needs a break in a movie. He'll be cheap. He'll work hard. He's doing something completely differently on television, so this isn't a big risk. That'll actually be an interesting challenge and a way to get people to come see him in the theater by doing something completely different.
Because I know that whatever is out there trying to get in is pure evil straight from hell. And if there is a hell, and those sons of bitches are from it, then there has got to be a heaven, Jacob. There's got to be.
It was interesting to talk to Robert Rodriguez. He really is a fascinating young director.
So young, so talented.